So, today we are going to talk about leveling in 7.3.5 since it's been out a week now and you kind of have more of a feel on it versus, how it was on the PTR. I mean, on the PTR, most of us were just making a tune or maybe even copying over a tune that we were leveling and just kind of playing around with it for like a few hours. But now that it's actually live and we've had more time with it, I think now is a good time to kind of talk about maybe some of the rough spots in the leveling. So, for anyone who doesn't know, in patch 7.3.5 that came out last Tuesday, they introduced world scaling for pretty much every past zone in the game. So this means that every level in the game now scales to, 1 to something, or to a minimum level to a max level. So, like, Alwyn Forest goes from, I think it's like 1 to 20. So as long as you're within those level ranges, all the, mobs and stuff will scale to you. You'll never be any more than maybe a level or two higher than anything in the zone until you hit level 20, and then you'll start, getting diminishing, returns on quests and stuff. And then other zones are like 30 to 60, and then after vanilla content, you can choose whether or not you want to do Burning Crusade or Wrath content, and those will range from level like 70 to 80 on either continent, either Northrend or Outland. And you even get a nice little thing that will pop up as choosing, where you want to go, and giving you the beginning quests and stuff like that. It's all real nice, actually. Also, dungeons scale as well. So a lot of these dungeons now scale from 15 to 60 for like vanilla content, and then 70 to 80 for Wrath and Burning Crusade. There we go. This part has probably been kind of somewhat controversial, because I find it's actually kind of nice to have these choices. But at the same time, because things scale to the level that you're at, you can't do the old leveling technique of just pulling everything in the instance and pretty much killing it, along with the boss, and just get just keep stacking, the XP, and you can't do that. I mean, things hurt now. If you try to do that, you're going to wipe. A lot of these bosses now live long enough that you actually have to do your rotation, and you need to learn the for a lot of these fights you have to learn the mechanics, or remember the mechanics. Having DBM, the DBM, add-ons that keep track of like the old expansions and stuff. You probably should have that now while you're leveling. I mean, I always did before, but I would say now it's a must. Which for some people that's a good thing, and for other people who only like to really like speed level up characters, instead of just buy, so not to have to buy like a boost. It's good for them. So you're getting less XP for dungeons. Actually, you get more XP now from quests than you do from dungeons, the way that it really was, before. when these expansions and content was, you know, relevant at their respective times. Now, yeah, we're back to that. I mean, I have a mage that I've been leveling on the Horde side because I really wanted to experience that content that I really never have experienced before. But it's taken longer. Like, I'm going through Northrend and it's like, this kind of feels like how it was when I leveled my main when Wrath first came out. You know, it's kind of, part of me is like, I kind of miss how it was before, where you could just kind of, you're really kind of in a zone for like 5 minutes before you were on to the next zone, because with, you know, dungeons, you could just, you know, spam dungeons and get right out of content, no problem. Well, now I would say the queues have dropped significantly. Like the day before 735 came out, it took maybe like 5-10 minutes to queue for a dungeon for a DPS, and now I would say the average wait time is usually about 19-20 minutes. Which I still queue for dungeons because it's still fun content, and it's always just something like I sort of do, like, while I'm waiting, I do, you know, leveling. I did that even before. I didn't just sit around and you know, sit, you know, in Orgrimmar or Stormwind waiting for the queue. I went out and quested, even though, you know, dungeons did more for you than you know, got more XP for dungeons than did quests, but it was still fun to do the quests. And you doing that, you often, you know, out level these zones before you could finish a quest line. You know, some of these zones have really nice quest lines, especially some of the revamped vanilla ones from Cataclysm, and some of the later content, like in one in like the Cataclysm zones, and even in Mist Pandaria. And you just kind of, there's no point in finishing the storyline other than you want to see the end. And when you're leveling, it's sort of a waste of time. So now at least you can do that. That, and since now you're leveling, you have a choice. You have a choice. Like I said, I have a mage that's going through Northrend, but Outland now is, you know, 70 to 80. I can do some questing in Born Tundra and then decide, you know what, I want to do a quest in Outland Nagran, you know, next. Or also, since these things, you know, they're giving you more choices now, you can say, yeah, I want to quest in Northrend, but I want to do the Burning Crusade dungeons. You can do that, and it's still worth your time to do that. A lot of people have also had problems with this patch. They nerfed the experience bonus that you get from heirloom items, and from other sources of XP bonus. The max XP bonus you can possibly get is 50%, while before it was like 100%. I think it was the max you could get. So like, and then in order to do that, you had to have heirloom gear and do refer a friend. And now you really, it doesn't matter what you do, 50% is the highest you can go. So some people have had issues with that, but once again, I think those are people who like make a second account to do a refer a friend, just so they don't have to pay the, you know, I think it's $60 to do a boost, It's like, I kind of get that, but at the same time, it's like, if you need like a new tune, you know, you want a new tune ready for like a raid next week, if it makes more sense to pay the $60 to get the boost. I mean, I've done that a couple of times. I have another Horde mage that I did that with, just so, you know, so I could play with friends there on Horde. You know, as much as I wanted to do the old content, I wanted to have something now. You know, I know how to play a mage, so that wasn't a problem. That's why I did a mage. But yeah, if you're really leveling is more something I think they really want people to do when it's just like, maybe there's a content drought and, you know, you just want something different to do. If, you know, when the allied races do go live, it's gonna be, you know, a whole new game to, you know, for most people leveling again. It just makes more sense. As much as I didn't mind the old way, like I really don't mind. I didn't mind having to, you know, having to sneeze and hit level 10 and then, you know, just spamming dungeons at level 15 to, you know, end level. It really didn't matter to me. I mean, leveling for me has always been about experiencing the content, but also just sort of turn off my mind and just doing something while I think about other things and just kind of decompress or whatever, you know. And now I find myself, I just have to pay more attention to like how much I pull, and you know, if I'm in a dungeon, just kind of having to remember what these bosses do. You know, well, before they died before they did any mechanics, before it became important at all. So yeah, overall, it's a nice change. If I want a tune right away, then that's what the boosts are for. So yeah, those are the changes. Like I said, my overall feeling about all of the changes to leveling are positive. Like I said, I didn't mind the old way, but I also see Blizzard's point, and I don't mind the new way because, like I said, I kind of do want to experience the content. I haven't leveled. I've leveled one character to, I think it was 90. I think it was 90. No, 85. There we go. I leveled the Horde character 1 to 85. Actually, I didn't even level him all the way to 85 Horde. I got him so far, and then it was a Paladin. It was a Draenei Paladin, and I got him to, like, I don't know, 70, 75, something. It was somewhere in that area. And then I decided I was going to make him Horde, so I faction changed him to Horde. And then from that point to 85, I leveled him. And I haven't done anything with him since. he's still sitting there on my server doing nothing. So yeah, I wanted to experience the Horde content, something I haven't done. A lot of this is just, it doesn't make much of a difference to me. I like the game. I'm gonna play it. You know, I'm still gonna level tunes when I'm bored, and it just makes it more fun. And you know what? The leveling the next tune I want to level is a Death Knight, because I think now it makes more sense for the Death Knights. Because now, after you're done with the starting quests in the Death Knight area, you can go to Northrend. Well, before you had to go through Burning Crusade, which didn't make sense. You do all the stuff, you know, in their starting area that's Lich King oriented, and then it's like, oh, well, first you have to fight the Burning Legion. It's like, okay. Now you can just go directly from there to Northrend, where it makes more sense. So now some of the, you know, the hero classes can make more sense. So that's my take on leveling. I'm enjoying it for the most part. I wish it was maybe a tad bit faster, and maybe they can make a little bit of adjustments with dungeon scaling to make them, I don't want to say pushovers like they were before, but I think there's a middle ground between where they are right now to, you know, where they were. I think there's a middle ground somewhere in there. So that's my thoughts on leveling. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and until next time, bye.